everyone. Today we will start with mineral nutrition. The all living organisms require carbohydrates, proteins, fats, water, and minerals for their growth. The basic needs of all living organisms are essentially the same. They require macromolecules such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and waters and minerals for their growth and development. This chapter you can ignore this paragraph, but this chapter focuses mainly on the inorganic plant nutrition, wherein you will study methods to identify essential elements to growth and development of plants and the criteria for establishing the essentiality. You will also study the role of essential elements, their major deficiency symptoms, and the mechanism of absorption of these essential elements. See, methods to study mineral requirements of plant. In 1860, Julius von Sachs, a prominent botanist, demonstrated for the first time that plant could be grown to maturity in a defined nutrient solution in a complete absence of soil. This technique of growing plant nutrient solution is known as hydroponics. जूलियन वॉन चचा हमारे क्या किए थे, एक न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन लिए, उसमें प्लांट को डुबाए, उसका रूट्स को, and he found that plant grow to maturity. Since then, a number of improvised methods have been employed to try and determine the mineral nutrients essential for plants. The essence of all these methods involves the culture of plants in a soil-free, defined mineral solution. These methods require purified water and mineral nutrient salts. After a series of experiments in which roots of a plant were immersed in a nutrient solutions and wherein an element was added, substituted, or removed or given in a varied concentrations, a mineral solution suitable for the plant growth was obtained. By this method, essential elements were identified and the deficiency symptoms discovered. Hydroponics has been successfully employed as a technique for the commercial production of vegetables such as tomato, seedless cucumber and lettuce. ये नीट का क्वेश्चन पूछा हुआ है कि hydroponics used in which vegetables. Like hydroponic has been successfully employed as a technique for the commercial production of vegetables such as tomato, seedless cucumber and lettuce. It must be emphasized that the nutrient solution must be adequately aerated. Now, let's move to essential mineral elements. Most of the minerals in the soil can enter the plants through roots. In fact, more than 60 elements of the 105 discovered so far are found in different plants. Some plant species accumulate selenium, some gold, and some strontium. But the question is, are really they essential for the plants? तो साइंटिस्ट लोग एक क्राइटेरिया सेट किया या एक पैरामीटर सेट किया कि ये 4 क्राइटेरिया सेट किया कि अगर जो मिनरल्स ये 4 क्राइटेरिया फॉलो करता है तो वो एसेंशियल मिनरल्स होता है. Now look on to the 4 criteria. The element must be absolutely necessary for supporting normal growth and reproduction. In the absence of element, the plant do not complete their life cycle or a set of seeds. ये पहला criteria. Second, the requirement of the element must be specific and not replaceable by another element. In other words, deficiency of any one element cannot be met by supplying some other elements. The elements must be directly involved in the metabolism of plant. Now we will move move on to further topics that minerals जो है वो या तो माइक्रो है या तो मैक्रो है. मैक्रो जो लार्ज क्वांटिटी में चाहिए एंड माइक्रो जो कि स्मॉल क्वांटिटी में चाहिए. See, based upon the above criteria, only a few elements have been found to be absolutely essential for plant growth and metabolism. These elements are further divided into the two broad categories based on their quantitative requirements: macronutrients and micronutrients. See, macronutrients are generally present in plants tissues in a large amounts in excess of 10 millimole per kg of dry matter. Dry matter is what? If we take a leaf, don't judge me by my drawing. If we take a leaf and evaporate all H2O molecules, now only dry matter is left. The macronutrients include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Of these, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are mainly obtained from CO2 and H2O, while others are absorbed from the soil as a mineral nutrition. Now have a look that carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, and potassium, and calcium and magnesium. These three are nutrients, while rest of them are minerals. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are obtained from CO2 and H2O. Now there are micronutrients or a trace element. Why they are called trace element? Because they needed in very small amounts, less than 10 millimole per kg of dry matter. This includes iron, manganese, copper, molybdenum, zinc, boron, and chlorine and nickel. Now, in addition to 17 essential elements named above, see how it came 17: iron, manganese, molybdenum, copper, zinc, boron, calcium, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and nickel 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, macronutrients. See, in addition to 17 elements essential named above, there are some beneficial elements such as sodium, silicon, cobalt, and selenium. They are required by the higher plants. Essential elements can also be grouped up into four broad categories on the basis of their diverse function. The categories are essential elements as component of biomolecules and hence structural elements of the cell. एक essential elements या बन सकता है structural elements of the cell, ठीक है. एक हो सकता है energy binding, energy related chemical component in the plant. उसका examples से question बनता है. Essential elements is a component of biomolecule and hence structural elements of the cell. Example: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Essential elements that are components of energy related chemical compounds in a plant are magnesium in chlorophyll and phosphorus in ATP. Essential elements that activate or inhibit enzymes, for example, Mg2 plus is an activator for both ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase and phosphenol pyruvate carboxylase, both of which are critical enzymes in the photosynthetic carbon fixations. Zn plus is the activator of alcohol dehydrogenase and molybdenum of the nitrogenase during nitrogen metabolism. Some essential elements can alter the osmotic potential of the cell. Potassium plays a very important role in the opening and closing of the stomata. You may recall the role of the minerals as a solutes in determining the water potential of the cell. Now, there are role of macro and micronutrients. Essential elements perform several functions. There are 17 essential elements. They participate in various metabolic processes in a plant cells such as permeability of the cell membrane, maintenance of the osmotic concentration of cell sap, electron transport system, buffering action, enzymatic activity, and act as a major constituents of macromolecules and coenzymes. Various forms and functions of essential nutrients element are given below. यहाँ से क्वेश्चन पूछते रहता है बहुत बार, ठीक है. Now let's start. See, nitrogen. There is an essential nutrient. This is an essential nutrient element required by the plants in the greatest amount. It is absorbed mainly as NO3, though some are also taken up as NO2 or NH2. We will clear this on the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is required by all parts of the plant, particularly the meristematic tissues and metabolically active cells. Nitrogen is one of the major constituents of the proteins, nucleic acid, vitamins, and hormones. Now, phosphorus. Phosphorus is absorbed by the plants from the soil in the form of phosphate ions, either H2PO3 or HPO4. Phosphorus is a constituent of cell membrane, cell protein, all nucleic acid and nucleotides and is required in all phosphorylation reactions. Now, potassium is absorbed as a potassium ion K plus in a plant. This is required in more abundant quantities in the meristematic tissues. ये नीट में पूछा हुआ क्वेश्चन है. Meristematic tissue, buds and leaves and root tips also. Potassium helps to maintain an anion-cation balance in the cells and is involved in the protein synthesis, opening and closing of stomata, activation of enzyme, and in the maintenance of the turgidity of the cell. Potassium is very important. Now see, calcium. Plant calcium from the soil in the plant absorbs calcium from the soil in the form of calcium ions. Calcium is required by meristematic and differentiating tissues. Potassium absorbed by meristematic tissues and calcium is absorbed by meristematic as well as differentiating tissues during cell division and it is used in the synthesis of cell wall, particularly as a calcium pectate in the middle lamina and also needed during the formation of mitotic spindle. It accumulates in the older leaf. It involved in the normal functioning of cell membranes. It activates certain enzymes and plays an important role in regulating metabolic activities. Magnesium. Again, magnesium is very important. Magnesium is absorbed by the plant in the form of divalent Mg2+. It activates the enzyme of respiration, photosynthesis, and are involved in the synthesis of DNA and RNA. Magnesium is a constituent of the ring structure of chlorophyll and help to maintain the ribosome structure. नीट में पूछा हुआ है कि मैग्नीशियम क्लोरोफिल में कौन सा न्यूट्रिएंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो magnesium was the answer. Now, sulfur. Plant obtains sulfur in the form of sulfate. Sulfur is present in the two amino acids, cysteine and methionine, and is the main constituent of several coenzymes, vitamins, thiamine, biotin, coenzymes A, and ferredoxins. Now, iron. Plant obtain iron in the form of ferric ions, Fe3+. ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये भी नीट में पूछा हुआ है कि प्लांट ऑब्टेन आयरन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ Fe3+. It require in a large amount in the comparison to other micronutrients. It is an important constituent of the protein involved in the transfer of electrons like ferredoxin and cytochromes. It is reversibly oxidized from Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus. During electron transfer, it activates catalyze enzymes and is essential for the formation of chlorophyll. Formation of chlorophyll में ये आयरन मदद करता है, लेकिन constituent of the ring structure of chlorophyll में magnesium important है. Now before moving to all this, I want to discuss few things. See, macronutrients जो होता है वो कार्बन, हाइड्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन, नाइट्रोजन, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, then calcium, then magnesium. और माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स जो होता है वो होता है आयरन, कॉपर, निकल, मोलिब्डेनम, बोरॉन, क्लोरीन, मैंगनीज एंड जिंक. अब इससे काफी बार क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं. तो देखो, सिलिकॉन जो होता है ना वो हायर प्लांट्स को रिक्वायर्ड होता है. ठीक है, अगर क्वेश्चन आ जाए कि एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स इन द लोअर प्लांट, तो एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स में तुम्हारा मैक्रो भी आएगा, ठीक है, और माइक्रो भी आएगा. लेकिन लोअर प्लांट्स बोलेगा तो सिलिकॉन को हटा देंगे. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 9 यहाँ पे, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 यहाँ पे 8. तो लोअर प्लांट्स के लिए 17 यहाँ पे हो गया. ठीक है, लेकिन यही अगर हायर प्लांट्स के लिए पूछ ले तो 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 और यहाँ पे +1, यानी ये 10 हो जाएगा हायर प्लांट्स के लिए, और यहाँ पे 8 +8. और बेनिफिशियल एलिमेंट्स भी तो होता है, तो यहाँ पे तुम्हारा हो जाएगा 21. ये इंपॉर्टेंट था. और मोस्ट अबंडेंट यहाँ पे आयरन होता है एज अ माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट, एज अ माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट. और ये जो तीन होता है, ये तो न्यूट्रिएंट्स होता है, बाकी ये सब मिनरल्स होते हैं, ये सब मिनरल्स होते हैं. नाउ लेट्स मूव टू एनसीईआरटी अगेन. एनसीईआरटी से ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछते थे. इट इज रिक्वायर्ड इन द लार्जर अमाउंट्स इन कंपैरिजन टू अदर माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स. यहाँ पे मोस्ट अबंडेंट माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट आयरन. नाउ लेट्स move to manganese. Manganese. It is absorbed in the form of manganese ions. It activates many enzymes involved in the photosynthesis, respiration, and nitrogen metabolism. The best defined function of manganese is in the splitting of water to liberate oxygen during photosynthesis. ये पूछा होगा splitting of water. Zinc. Plant obtains zinc Zn2 plus ions. It activates various enzymes, especially carboxylase. It also needed in the synthesis of auxin. Auxin प्लांट ग्रोथ में पढ़ेंगे तो वो था ट्रिप्टोफैन. ट्रिप्टोफैन. Copper is absorbed as cupric ions. It is essentially for overall metabolism in plants. Like iron, it is associated with certain enzymes involved in the redox reaction and is reversibly oxidized from Cu plus to Cu2 plus. Now move to boron. Boron is also quite important. It absorbed as BO3 minus or BO4O7 2 minus. Boron is required for uptake and utilization of calcium, membrane functioning, pollen germination, cell elongation, cell differentiation, and carbohydrate translocation. Boron question पूछा है. Boron is required for pollen germination and carbohydrate translocation. Yeah. Molybdenum. Now move to molybdenum. Molybdenum obtains it in the form of molybdate ions MOO2 plus. It is a component of several enzymes including nitrogenase and nitrate reductase, both of which participate in the nitrogen metabolism. Now chlorine. It is absorbed in the form of chloride anions along with Na and K+. It helps in determining the solute concentration and the anion cation balance in the shell. It is essential for the water splitting reactions in the photosynthesis reaction that leads to oxygen evolution. Now, just give an overview that magnesium used in to maintain ribosome structure, and it activates enzyme for respiration photosynthesis, so pepcase, then rubisco, then hexokinase. Then we will move to zinc. Here it is the zinc. Zinc basically is the activator of alcohol dehydrogenase, then carbonic anhydrase, then carboxypeptide, peptidase, then iron. Iron basically it is activator of nitrogenase. Molybdenum is also activator of nitrogenase. The nickel is the activator of urease, and copper is the activator of cytochrome oxidase. जो important था वो लिख दी. Now, deficiency deficiency symptoms of essential elements. See, there's a graph. This is macronutrients. Here goes concentration, here goes growth of a plant, and this is micro, same concentration and growth of a plant. What happened here is this is a point, this is a point B. अगर मिनरल्स ए कंसेंट्रेशन के नीचे है, ए कंसेंट्रेशन के नीचे है, तो वो हो जाता है क्रिटिकल कंसेंट्रेशन. इसको बोलते हैं क्रिटिकल कंसेंट्रेशन. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्रिटिकल कंसेंट्रेशन, तो प्लांट का ग्रोथ जो होता है डिक्रीज हो जाता है. ठीक है, अगर मिनरल का कंसेंट्रेशन ए और बी के बीच है तो ये होता है ऑप्टिमल ग्रोथ, ऑप्टिमम ग्रोथ. और अगर बी से मिनरल का कंसेंट्रेशन बी से ज्यादा है तो ये होता है टॉक्सिसिटी. सेम गोज फॉर माइक्रो. यहाँ पे भी ए है और यहाँ पे भी बी है. अगर मिनरल का कंसेंट्रेशन, ये कंसेंट्रेशन हो गया यहाँ पे मिलीमोल पर केजी. ठीक है, यहाँ पे अगर मिनरल का कंसेंट्रेशन कम हुआ ए से तो ये क्रिटिकल कंसेंट्रेशन है और प्लांट ग्रोथ यहाँ पे भी डिक्रीज करेगा. और बी से ज्यादा हुआ तो टॉक्सिसिटी है, प्लांट ग्रोथ यहाँ पे भी डिक्रीज करेगा, जो होगा ठीक ऑप्टिमल ग्रोथ पे. अब तुमको एक ये दोनों ग्राफ में एक डिफरेंस दिख रहा होगा कि इसका क्रिटिकल कंसेंट्रेशन मतलब इसका बहुत कम है. क्रिटिकल कंसेंट्रेशन मतलब ये थोड़ा सा मिनरल पे अगर ज्यादा हो जाए तो तुरंत टॉक्सिक हो जाएगा, और थोड़ा सा भी कम हो जाए तो ये तुरंत इसका प्लांट ग्रोथ रिटार्ड भी हो जाएगा, मतलब प्लांट ग्रोथ सफी परफॉर्म नहीं करेगा. लेकिन यहाँ पे इसका रेंज वाइड है. ठीक है, अब लेट्स मूव टू एनसीईआरटी. Deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Whenever the supply of essential elements become limited, plant growth is retarded. The concentration of essential elements below which plant growth is retarded is termed as critical concentration, A point. The element is said to be deficient when present below the critical concentration. Since each element has one or more specific structural or functional role in plants, in absence of any particular element, plant shows morphological changes. The morphological changes are indicative of certain element deficiencies and are called deficiency symptoms. जैसे क्लोरोसिस हो गया, ब्राउन स्पॉट्स होना लीफ में, and etc. The deficiency symptoms varies from elements to element, and they disappear when the deficient mineral nutrient is provided to the plant. However, if deprivation continues, it may eventually lead to death of the plant. The parts of the plant that shows the deficiency symptoms also depends on the mobility of element in the plant. For elements that are actively mobilized within the plants and exported to the young developing tissues, the deficiency symptoms tend to appear first in the older leaves. For example, before moving to examples, let's understand this. See, here is mineral. Okay, one mineral is mobile and another mineral is immobile. Immobile. See, what happened here is mobile minerals generally old leaves. Mobile minerals come to young leaves. Therefore, deficiency symptoms will be performed in old leaf, and immobile minerals is already present in younger leaves. Therefore, deficiency symptoms will show in younger leaves itself only. Now see, for example, the deficiency symptoms of nitrogen, potassium and magnesium are visible first in the senescent leaves, means older leaves. They are mobile. यहाँ से क्वेश्चन ये बन सकता है, they are mobile. In older leaves, biomolecule containing these elements are broken down, making these elements available for the mobilizing to younger leaves. The deficiency symptoms tends to appear first in the young tissues whenever the elements relatively immobile and are not transported out of mature organs. For examples, elements like sulfur, calcium are a part of structural component of the cell, hence are not easily released. This aspect of mineral nutrition of a plant is of a great significance and important to agriculture and horticulture. The kind of deficiency symptoms shown in the plant includes chlorosis, necrosis, stunted plant growth, premature fall of leaves and buds, and inhibition of cell division. और यहाँ से क्वेश्चन पूछा होगा नीट में chlorosis is the loss of chlorophyll leading to yellowing of leaves. This symptoms caused by deficiency of elements nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc, and molybdenum too. Likewise, necrosis or a death of tissue, particularly leaf tissue, is due to deficiency of calcium, magnesium, copper, and potassium. Lack or low level of nitrogen, potassium, and sulfur and molybdenum cause an inhibition of cell division. Some elements like nitrogen, sulfur, molybdenum delay flowering if their concentration in the plant is low. You can see from the above that the deficiency of any elements can cause multiple symptoms, and the same symptoms may be caused by the deficiency of one of several different elements. Hence, to identify the deficient element, one has to study all the symptoms developed in all the various parts of the plant and compare them with the available standard table. Now let's move to toxicity of micronutrients. Remember the graph which I told that after B point, if mineral concentration increases, it leads to toxicity. The requirement of the mineral micronutrient is always in low amounts. I told you that the graph की slope इसका ज़्यादा है compared to macronutrients. The requirement of micronutrients is always in a low amount, while their moderate decrease cause the deficiency symptoms and a moderate increase cause toxicity. In other words, there is a narrow range of concentration at which the elements are optimum. Any mineral ion concentration in the tissues that reduces the dry weight of tissues by about 10% is considered to be toxic. Such critical concentrations are vary widely among different micronutrients. The toxicity symptoms are difficult to identify. Toxicity levels for any element also vary for different plants. Many a times, excess of any element may inhibit the uptake of another element. For example, the prominent symptoms of manganese toxicity is appearance of brown spots surrounded by chlorotic veins. It is important to know that manganese competes with the iron and magnesium for uptake and with magnesium for binding with the enzymes. Manganese also inhibits calcium translocation in the shoot apex. Therefore, excess of manganese may in fact include deficiency of iron, magnesium and calcium. This what appears as symptoms of manganese toxicity may actually be the deficiency of symptoms of iron, magnesium and calcium. Now let's move to mechanism of absorption of elements. See, there are two ways. One is apoplast and one is symplast. Now read the NCERT. Much of the studies of mechanism of absorption of elements by plant has been carried out in isolated cells, tissues or organs. These studies reveal that process of absorption can be demarcated into two main phases. First, that is an initial rapid uptake of ions into the free space or the outer space of cells, the apoplast, and it is passive. Before moving to second phase, we will also study that the passive movement of ions into the apoplast usually occur through the ion channels, transmembrane proteins that function as a selective pores. Now let's move to symplast. In the second phase of uptake, ions usually taken into the inner space, the symplast of the cells. Apoplast is rapid, ठीक है, and symplast is slow. Apoplast is rapid, symplast is slow. It is passive, it is active. Apoplast occurs through transmembrane proteins and functions as selective pores. On other hand, the entry or exit of ions on other hand, entry and exit of ions to and from the symplast requires expenditure of metabolic energy, which is an active process. The movement of ion is usually called flux. The inward movement of ions is called influx, and outward movement is called efflux. Now, translocation of solutes. Mineral salts are translocated through xylem along with the ascending stream of water, which is pulled up through the plant by transpirational pull. Analysis of xylem sap shows the presence of mineral salts in it. Use of radioisotope of mineral elements also substantiate the view that they are transported through the xylem. Now we'll move to soil reservoir of essential elements. See, soil is made up of withering of rocks. The majority of nutrients that are essential for the growth and development of plants become available to the roots due to withering or breakdown of rocks. These processes enrich the soil with dissolved ions and inorganic salts. Since they are derived from the rock minerals, their role in the plant nutrition is referred to as mineral nutrition. Soil consists of wide variety of substances. Soil not only supplies minerals but also harbors nitrogen fixing bacteria, other microbes, holds water, supplies air to the roots and act as a matrix that stabilizes the plant. Since the deficiency of essential minerals affect the crop yield, there is often a need for supplying them through fertilizers, both macronutrients NPKs, etc. Apart from carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and micronutrients copper, zinc, iron, manganese form components of fertilizers and are supplied as per need.